Tension grips Minneapolis as the FBI declares the Annunciation Catholic Church shooting a potential act of domestic terrorism. A 23-year-old's hidden regrets exploding into bloodshed, leaving 2 young children dead and a community shattered. What chilling family words ignited this nightmare? Stay tuned, the revelations will haunt you.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
In the quiet suburbs of Richfield, Minnesota, a story of fractured identity begins to unfold, one that would culminate in unimaginable horror. Born Robert Paul Westman on June 17, 2002, he grew up in a seemingly ordinary home, but cracks appeared early. His parents, James and Mary Grace Westman, divorced in 2013 after 25 years of marriage, leaving young Robert to navigate a divided world. Mary Grace, a dedicated administrative assistant at Annunciation Catholic School from 2016 to 2021, provided stability, but beneath it simmered unspoken tensions. Robert attended the historic Catholic school himself, graduating 8th grade in 2017 before bouncing between 3 high schools, a sign of restlessness that few noticed at the time. By 2020, at just 17, he legally changed his name to Robin in Dakota County Court, declaring an intent to live as a woman, supported by his mother in the petition. Yet there's no trace in records of any medical transition. No hormones, no surgeries. It was a name on paper, but inside, doubt festered like a wound. Imagine the isolation. A teenager reshaping his life to fit an identity that felt increasingly like a trap, all while the world moved on unaware. Fast forward to 2025. Robin, now 23, worked briefly at a medical cannabis dispensary as a personal care specialist, but tardiness and absences hinted at deeper struggles, his last day on August 16th marking the beginning of a final descent. A recent breakup with a romantic partner left him reeling, crashing with a friend in St. Louis Park, his world shrinking to journals filled with despair. Feel the weight of his confessions. I am tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself. Long hair became a reluctant symbol, kept only to avoid embarrassing defeat or alerting others. He'd experiment with feminine clothes in secret, moments of fleeting comfort crushed by shame. I know I'm not a woman, but I don't feel like a man. I'm stuck in this body, tearing me apart. Friends drifted, seeing only the facade. Family interactions grew strained, laced with unspoken regrets. This wasn't just confusion. It was a silent scream echoing in empty rooms, pulling viewers into the emotional void of a life unraveling thread by thread.
These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country.
As shadows lengthened in Robin's mind, regret twisted into something far darker, a venom that poisoned every thought. His handwritten manifesto, a chaotic blend of English and invented Cyrillic script, revealed an obsession with infamous massacres, idolizing Sandy Hook killer Adam Lanza, scribbling "for the children" amid deranged laughter on gun magazines, dreaming of being that scary monster standing over powerless kids. Anti-Semitic hatred seeped through. 6 million wasn't enough. Jew gas labeled on smoke grenades, a chilling echo of history's horrors. Anti-Catholic rants targeted the faith tied to his childhood, while "Kill Donald Trump" and racial slurs against blacks and Mexicans painted a broad canvas of rage. He hated all of us, investigators noted, his writings a manifesto of universal loathing. He meticulously planned the attack on Annunciation, his old school haunt, sketching detailed layouts from memory, noting it as an easy attack for devastating tragedy. Barricades of lumber rigged with smoke canisters to trap victims inside. Avoidance of parents during drop-offs to maximize child harm. The cold calculation builds suspense. Each detail is a step closer to doom. Deleted YouTube videos captured the frenzy. 10 minutes of maniacal laughter, panning over ammo etched with pain and hate, no remorse, and anti-Trump expletives. A 20-minute rant flipping through journals, stabbing a church drawing with a knife. Depression clawed deeper. He fabricated a vaping-induced lung cancer as self-punishment, haunted by suicidal urges for years. Words can't describe my pain. I can't live. I can't wait to die. Kill kids. Red flags flashed but faded. A 2018 welfare check at his mother's home for a juvenile's mental health crisis, heavily redacted and closed without follow-up. A former art teacher spotting self-harm scars and isolation in 2017, reporting it as a cry for help rooted in self-hatred, but resources fell short. No action taken.
As the community mourns and investigators work around the clock looking for answers, there is another voice.
I felt like I connected with this student.
Sarah Reilly taught art at one of the high schools the shooter attended in the Twin Cities. They were in her class several years ago when they went by a different name.
I had just like this sculpture that Bob made that was like this little guy with a big nose.
And it wasn't until she saw this photo that she made the connection.
Did you ever think this person would be capable of such a heinous act?
No.
But she recalls noticing concerning signs.
Self-harm is usually an indication of either a cry for help or an expression of self-hatred or both, and that's something that needs to be reported.
And she did, but doesn't know what happened after.
Would you say there was missed warning signs?
I don't know if it's necessarily that they were missed. I noticed. I think it's a lack of preparation, a lack of knowing what to do, a lack of resources.
Minnesota's red flag law, active since January 2024, could have halted his legal purchase of the rifle, shotgun, and pistol. But no family member, no one, filed an extreme risk protection order, despite the signs. A recent breakup amplified the isolation. Journals screaming, "I am a sick freak. Forget me. My life is over." The tension coils tighter. Anti-Trump rants mixing with identity denial, white supremacy gestures and videos, a do-it shirt fueling the storm. Every element a ticking bomb, drawing viewers to the edge, hearts pounding with the inevitability of tragedy. On August 27, 2025, at 8:27 a.m., the bomb detonated. Robin Westman approached Annunciation during the back-to-school mass, barricading doors with smoke-laced 2x4s, then unleashing dozens of rounds through sacred stained glass windows over 2 harrowing minutes. 2 innocent children, 10-year-old Harper Moyski, full of dreams, and 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel, so young and vibrant, fell lifeless in their pews, their loss a gut-wrenching void that tugs at every parent's heart. 18 others wounded, 14 children as young as 6, 3 elderly parishioners in their 80s, all clinging to life amid chaos, with heroes emerging. A 10-year-old boy throwing himself over his friend, bravery in the face of terror that inspires tears and awe. Westman, armed with legally bought weapons, fired 116 to 120 rounds before turning the gun on himself in the parking lot, ending the rampage, but leaving scars eternal.
It was like shots fired, and then we kind of like got under the pews. It kind of, they shot through the stained glass windows, I think, and it was really scary, and I just ran under the pew, and then I covered my head. My friend, like, saved me, though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit. He went to the hospital. I was like 2 seats away from the stained glass windows, so they were like, the shots were like right next to me.
But here's the FBI's shocking breakthrough in their domestic terrorism probe. Newly translated journal entries point directly to Mary Grace Westman's words as the spark. When Robin first came out, she was antagonistic, telling him, "In the future, you will look back and feel ridiculous about who you feel like you are inside. You will regret this." His response, raw and accusatory, "Well, guess what, Mom? I regret being born. Those words you said make me feel like I can never take back my choice. Your words, Mother, made me stay in my discomfort, unable to ask for help, to avoid admitting defeat. You were right, Mama, but the way you handled it led me to wanting to kill so many people." This twist uncovers a family's hidden fractures. Mary Grace, now in Florida, hiring a criminal defense lawyer and finally speaking to police, raising questions of accountability. Was her initial support masking deeper pressures? The revelation hits like a thunderclap, blending empathy for lost potential with horror at the consequences, urging viewers to ponder the unseen roles in such darkness. As Minneapolis grieves, flowers encircling the church in a sea of remembrance, communities uniting in sorrow, this FBI-investigated tragedy lays bare profound failures. Mental health cries ignored, like the 2018 welfare check and teachers' warnings. A red flag law unused despite evident risks. And family dynamics where words meant to caution instead fueled a deadly spiral of regret and rage. Robin's trans confusion wasn't the cause, but it masked deeper issues: depression, narcissism, a sadistic quest for control that experts say demand better interventions, not ideology-driven shortcuts. This isn't just a story of violence, it's a mirror to society's blind spots, evoking a mix of anger, sadness, and urgency for change. Stricter gun safeguards, awareness of red flag tools, and open dialogues on identity to prevent such heartbreaks. What do you think? Could Mary Grace's words or those missed red flags have altered this fate? Was the system too broken, or were signs too subtle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights fuel the conversation. If this update gripped you with its tension and truths, hit like. Subscribe to Untold Crimes and Affairs for more dives into the shadows, and turn on notifications. Our last video unpacked the Manifesto basics. Check it out. Together, we uncover the untold. Stay watchful, for awareness saves lives.